right. Hello, all you beautiful, wonderful, amazing, spectacular tea people, wherever in the world you happen to be. I hope you are having an amazing start to your spring or your fall. That your spring was great, or your fall was great, or winter. Sorry. Start to summer and winter. Look what came. So Wang Yoli in Pingling has sent me some Baozhong. So this is the first Baozhong of the season. Now, why is this the first Baozhong of the season? Very easy. Why is it the first Baozhong of the season? Very easy. The answer is I cannot go to Pingling because my family will not let me. They still want me to stay here. Now, other parts of Taiwan, it's possible to go, but Pingling, I really need to drive there. And my family says, no, you cannot go. You have to stay here. And fair enough. The road is not exactly the safest. But I'm hoping maybe I convince my family this week that I can go. But Sunday, this will be released. In any case, right? So in any case, Sunday, this will be released. Now, what is this tea? This is the Old Master Baozhong right here. This is the Old Master Green. This year, I don't know whether it's true or not, but apparently either one of two things. One, my guanxi is, no, three things, I guess. I was only able to get 1,800 grams of this tea, and I was only able to get, this is the green, 600 grams of this tea. That's it. So that's it. That's all I've got this year. 1,800 grams of the Baozhong and only 600 grams of the green. Now, why is that? One of three reasons. One, they said that this year the harvest wasn't that good, and so they don't have that much tea, which could be true, right? The second one would be my guanxi isn't that good because I haven't visited them in a while, which also could be true. I haven't visited them probably since last fall. So maybe my guanxi has gone down, so they won't give me as much tea. Or number three, they're doing so well that they have so many different customers that want their tea that they can't give me as much as they gave me last year. So last year they gave me more tea. This year, not so much. And what is the story around this tea? Now, anybody who has been buying Mountain Stream teas or knows Mountain Stream teas for more than a year knows this tea very well. This is one of the first teas that blew my mind. And this is, of course, the Old Master Baozhong. Now, what's the story? Well, there's a guy up in Pingling, and he's lived there his entire life. His name's Wang Yoli, and you can look it up. He has done organic forever. His garden has always been organic. Actually, I think it's been organic since like the 1990s, something like that. I think there might have been a period of time where it wasn't, but certainly not in recent memory. And he goes up there. He lives up. Well, he doesn't really live up there all the time, but he's getting on in age. His daughter is helping out now more and more. But basically what he does is he's got this area where he's got these tea plants. What he does is he's starting in April, sort of mid to late April, whenever the weather is perfect, whenever the tea leaves are happy, he will go and he will pick a little bit of tea. Now, sometimes they pick by hand, sometimes they pick by machine. Sometimes the days are like sometimes they pick on a rainy day, sometimes they pick on a sunny day. And they slowly go through and they go and they pick. And maybe if the weather's good for a spring, one plant they might pick two times, right? One in early April, one in late May, right? They just go through and they pick and they just make tea for about 6 weeks nonstop. So 6 weeks nonstop, they make tea. Then they get all the tea together, they batch it up, and then they put it into the roaster and they do the exact same roast on that tea. So they make the tea, they leave it aside. That's Mao Cha, that's the unfinished tea. And then they put all the tea together. And then in late May, early June, they're like, we're good, we've got it. And so what I do is I phone them up in April and say, I'd like to reserve some tea. Do you have any tea? And they say, no, we don't have any tea. And then I phone them in mid-May. I'm like, how's it going? Everything going okay? They're like, we're not ready yet. And then I get in touch with them again in late May and say, can I get some tea? Can I get my allocation, basically, of this amazing, beautiful tea? Now you can see right here, I won't do it the other way. Can you see this finger? I got stung today, but I'll tell that story. I was fighting giant Asian hornets today. But I don't know whether I'll tell that story. If you're interested in bees, then I can talk about bees as well. Anyways, now what do I have here? I have the Old Master Green and I have the Old Master Baozhong. Now, why are these so special? Was because Wang Yoli has been making Baozhong tea for probably 60 years now, nonstop, every year. And he really knows his stuff. So he really, really knows. He takes it very, 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 very seriously. Qingjin Baozhong, right? Everything about the Old Master Baozhong, everything about it, and the Old Master Green, everything about it, it doesn't fit in the box. So what does that mean? Well, it's a mix between Jinshen and Qingjin. So it's both the Melk Oolong and the Qingjin Oolong cultivars. It is picked over many, many times, right? When you actually look at the tea itself, you go into the tea like this, it's a little bit wet, like it's a cloudy broth, right? The broth is cloudy. The leaves themselves, they're not beautiful. They are not beautiful leaves. They're not like opening up like a beautiful pear mountain. No. There's broken leaves in there, right? There's a mix between the two. Like sometimes the stems are off, sometimes the stems are on. It's all over the place, right? And when you brew it like this, and you should not brew this. If you get enough of it, okay, whatever. You can brew it like this once, or if you just like the gongfu, or sorry, the grandpa style, you can brew it this way. But when you brew it this way, there's like little bubbles that come off on the top, right? So there's little bubbles. I don't know. Let's see if the camera can see the little bubbles. I don't know. Maybe you can. Anyways, there's little bubbles off the top. And usually that denotes a low quality tea, right? When you get the little bubbles on the top, that denotes a low quality tea. And then everything about this screams, right? Everything about this screams, mid-level to low-level quality. And then you drink the tea, and it's the best Baozhong I've ever had, and it's the best Baozhong I've ever had year after year after year after year. And this green tea is insane. It is like it's a green tea dressed in a Japanese kimono with a Taiwanese soul. I just came up with that. That's pretty good. I should write that down. That should be the marketing, right? Japanese kimono with a Taiwanese soul. And I don't know. It's probably not very politically correct to call it the product of colonialization. But this green tea is like a Japanese green tea. It's a Japanese green tea, except the aftertaste is full on Taiwanese Baozhong-y, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ways of like, it's so beautiful. It's so amazingly beautiful, and it's so unique. Right now, I'm sure in Japan, there's lots and lots and lots of teas in Japan that will probably have a similar taste profile to this. But here in Taiwan, almost none. Right? I don't think I've ever had a green tea that can pull this off. Now, I've definitely had green teas that try to do the sencha sort of style of tea, but there's always a really nastiness to it. There's always like I shouldn't say nasty. That's the wrong word. But there's a catch, right? In the background, there's really high bitterness or astringency. There's something going on in there that's just sort of wrong. Whereas this green tea is 100% sencha all the way through, mid-mouth, and then the aftertaste is like Pingling Baozhong floral. It's gorgeous. It is such a beautiful tea. It's so unique. I'm not really a green tea drinker. I'm not a green tea guy. But I mean, it's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. And then the Baozhong, of course, is by far the best example of Pingling Baozhong ever. And I got to go up and get some Baozhong. Maybe I'll convince my wife to go up on Sunday. We don't have the kids for a couple of days, so maybe I'll convince her to go up on Sunday. Oh, I've been missing Baozhong. Upfront, buttery, beautiful, sweet floral, thick, wide mid mouth, and then that typically green, jasmine-y floral that aftertaste just lasts forever. I mean, it's just, I was talking about this. I think I was talking about this the last live stream, right? Like, it's so hard for me to get green teas because there's the Sancha green. It's so hard for me to get other Baozhong teas because there is the old master of Baozhong. There is this tea, and I, you know, and it's one of those things where, what I'm hoping is it wasn't that there wasn't too much tea, right? And then you get stuff like this, right, in it, and this is, this is the stem, so this comes from this comes from the machine picked version of it, right? It doesn't fit in the box. It just doesn't fit in the box. Creamy, sweet, and florals, with very nice fragrance. Yes, and that's what the good Baozongs are. And what the problem is, and it's a great big problem, and everybody knows this problem, and I know this problem probably better than most because I am a tea gambler. But when you have an organic tea, and especially when you're looking at a tea from Pingling, and definitely a tea this style, organic teas are really, 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 really tough to have that creaminess, that deep breath, that to have everything. So hard. It's so hard. And the only way you can do that is if you get these teas that are from these tea bushes, these tea plants, these tea trees, that their roots just go deep into the core of the earth and they suck up huge amounts. And then they only do like boop, boop. They only have like two leaves that come up every spring. And you pick them and you can get that. And you can get the artificial version of it, of course, which is the artificial version of it. You just spray a bunch of agrochemicals all over that stuff. You spray it. And then in the springtime you pick it and you get that same flavor in the upfront. And then in the mid mouth and the aftertaste, it's not there. And this is just warts and all, the taste of the soil, the taste of the place. And somebody like me, right? I'm like, here's my suitcase full of cash, right? Just give me as much as you got. I can get Sanjin, I think it's caddies or whatever it is. My allocation for the entire year of this Baozhong is only 600 grams. That's it. I'd probably, it's expensive. I don't think I'd pay double, but I'd pay more than I pay for it, right? Just to get my hands on it, to get more of it. And because it's obviously a very expensive tea. But the Old Master Baozhong is the tea that there's two I look forward to all year, right? There's the Pear Mountain. Oh, there's a bunch I look forward to all year. Never mind. I'll stop talking about that. But as you can see here, I'm not really a green tea guy. This is the one that I'm the green tea over here, which is also extraordinarily beautiful. I'm just reaching for this again and again and again and again. What are the names of the two teas, and when are they on the website? Old Master Baozhong, Old Master Green. They will be on the site. So obviously I've been having the issues with the newsletter. So what I'm going to do is this time, there's going to be, I wrote them down because there's so many new teas. On Sunday at the usual time, so 10 p.m. Taiwanese time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in North America. What's that? UTC is like in the morning sometime, and the West Coast is like 7 a.m. That is going to be when I release I guess Singapore is 11 p.m. or 12 midnight. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, that time period, right? So that time period from all around, right? So all of those things, that time period from that is when I'm just going to release it. I'm going to stick a thing on the Instagram for 2 hours before that. I'm going to send out an email to everybody. So hopefully everybody gets the email, but it's going to be on the Instagram just at that time. Actually, I'll probably send it out 4 hours before everything. So, because they say it takes like 4 hours to get to everybody. And then that's what it's going to be. And so it'll be released then. And like I said, there is there is 1,800 grams of the Bao. No, 1,700 grams of the Baozhong because I'm keeping some, and only 600 grams, actually less than that. So like 597. They say 550 grams of the green tea. And what else is going to be released then? There's the organic Alishan, right? Very similar to this tea. Just like warts and all, just beautiful, thick, sweet. Alishan, organic Alishan is coming. There's the Jade Mountain Spring tea, which is beautiful, gorgeous tea. The Jade Mountain GABA. So that's a new one that's going to be on the site as well. The Magnolia is back on site. I'll give it for 10 off. There's also a High Mountain Jade Mountain High Mountain Four Seasons, which is really unique. It's a pretty neat Four Seasons. So there's going to be that. And obviously the Old Master Green and the Old Master Baozhong. So all those teas are going to be offered up for sale on Sunday at the usual time for 10% off. And I'll probably put a post out today, and another one tomorrow, and then another one on Saturday, and then another one on Sunday. And that's what's going to happen. Any questions about any of that stuff? Oh, so good. I think this year the harvest was a little bit wet. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but this spring has been absolutely beautiful in some ways, but it certainly has not been hot. And it's now like 11 o'clock Taiwanese time in the morning, give or take. What is it? Yeah, 11:10. And it is, I can still be out here and do this. Pretty amazing. Usually by this time of the year, I cannot be doing this at this time of the day, right? And I timed it right. I watched all the planes go by, and then I was like, okay, let's do a live stream. But that's pretty good, eh? I mean, that's like, so organic Alishan, Jade Mountain Spring, Jade Mountain GABA, High Mountain Four Seasons. The Magnolia is going to be back in stock with a fresh one. The Old Master Baozhong, the Old Master Green. And so all those teas are going to be released on Sunday. And yeah, so that's pretty decent. Pretty good. But the Baozhong is something that I've got to do. Now, it looks like, barring some unforeseen geopolitical issues, I will be going back to Canada for July. And so for most of July, I'll be back in Canada. And so I've been thinking about it. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to visit places and do things. That's, it's a family trip. But I'm going to be in 3 main places. I will be on Manitoulin Island. I will be in Guelph. Guelph. That's the one of the funniest things for people with a Chinese accent to try and say. Guelph. I'm the only one in my family who can say Guelph. But Guelph, and I'll come into Toronto for a couple days as well. I guess maybe Niagara Falls, but I don't know who lives in Niagara Falls. But what I'm going to be doing is I'll probably put up some dates that if anybody is in Toronto, then I'll go to High Park, and I'll have like a day in High Park where I'll drink tea with my family. And if no one else comes, then no problem. But if anybody's in Toronto and wants to meet up for some tea, I'll probably do that for a day sometime in mid to late July. I think we're going to go to a ball game, and we're going to go see the Cirque du Soleil. And but there'll be a chance to actually see some sort of people in North America. I haven't been back to North America for a long time. And so that's something that's coming up. And yeah, the Old Master Baozhong will be available on Sunday with the Old Master Green. And I think it's a lot more Jinchuan this year. that's the taste that's coming through. The aftertaste just lasts forever. But there we go. Overall, I would say that the springtime harvest has been, the high mountain stuff has been really, really good. Oh yeah, I got to do, that reminds me, gardenia. So the gardenia flower oolong is coming in as well, but that won't be released for Sunday. The gardenia will be 2 weeks from now. But I got to get in touch with them. But I think that's, I've got to go and get some interesting teas. But other than that, I think it's looking pretty good. The springtime teas are all in, except for Baozhong, except for a good Baozhong or two. The springtime teas, I think, are all in. And this year, they're great. They really are. This year, the springtime teas were... Oh, and I think I turned it off. Let's try. Ready? Here we go. Let's try it. Let's see if it works. I figured out... Okay, so on my... Oh, anyway, so I figured out where the stupid fireworks are coming from. Everything on an Apple either phone or computer goes through FaceTime when you're on doing any live streaming. And FaceTime has these automatic idiotic reactions. And so I turned it off on my phone, but I guess Facebook has a different one. So if I go like this on Facebook or in the Facebook world, then it does like a thing like that. But if I do this in the, oh, it's still on. Oh, come on. Anyways, both of them are doing it. It's so dumb. I turned it off on my phone. I know I did, and it's still going. So I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyways, whatever. There used to be a honey black made by monks, if I remember. I couldn't find it when I last searched. Yes, there was a honey black oolong made by the monks. And the story behind that, I'm hoping I'm going to get their Baozhong this year, actually. I'm hoping I can get their Baozhong. But the monk who was up there and doing it for about 20 years, he was replaced by another monk, a younger guy, whose name is literally Little T. That's his name. And so I went there the first year he did it, and he was so stressed out. He was just like, oh my God, I'm the boss now. I got to do this. And his tea production was not that good. Unfortunately, it wasn't that good, right? Unfortunately, his tea production wasn't that good. And so I didn't buy any tea that year. Last year, I didn't go at all. And so this year I'm going to go up, and I'm going to hopefully sit down with him and be like, can I buy some tea? I hope your Baozhong is really tasty this year. And last year I phoned him up a couple times, and he's like, I'm not done yet. Click. So I'm hoping he's calmed down. I'm hoping, because he's a super nice guy. But the guy before him had like 20 years of experience, and he doesn't have as much experience. And but that would be in August. So in August I would get the monk's honey black. So in August would be the honey black, the monk's honey black. And but yes, it's a great question. That's also the place that had the purple bud torcha, and that had all those different things, right? So the monks' teas before were just amazing. And then I guess about 4 years ago, something happened. I don't know what happened. And then it just went, and it just basically disappeared. Hey man, how's it going? I just got in. I just got in the solar charging thing for my phone, and I got it from your recommendation. And that makes a lot of sense. Everybody should probably have like a solar charging thing. I got it for like $20. Like, they're so cheap. And but I just got it in, and I stuck it. It's a cloudy day. Stuck it out there, stuck it in, and it worked. So I was like, okay. And maybe I'll get some bigger ones as well. But thankfully, living here in Taiwan, it's for that type of stuff. It's I can literally just jump over here and just start walking around all year long and just eat. So that's always a really, really good thing about living in Taiwan. If you learn how to eat the wild vegetables, you're good to go, because there are so many. Do you own birds, or Do you own birds, or is that nature? Birds. Do I own birds? No, I do not own birds. I tried to raise chickens in my front garden, and I just got chickens that were already traumatized chickens, and so every morning they would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and go, so we had to eat them. But they gave us a couple eggs. I would love to get chickens, but I don't have chickens right now. I have bees, right? So I have bees. I don't have birds. But you said around? That's just my back porch, like literally just my back porch. I think that makes more sense. Yes, it's around. It's just the birds around. So I don't own any of the birds, and they. I think I've showed it to people before, but there's a big old camphor tree right here, and it's got owls and birds and all these different types of things. And when the damn F-16s are not flying over, it works out pretty well. Did you ever get those long yin flowers this year? Awesome question, and my heart hurts to say no. I have been in touch with them many times. I have said, "Come on, please." But this year, apparently, they didn't make them, or they didn't make very much. And so I couldn't get my hands on any, which is a huge disappointment. It really is. It's a huge disappointment, because that's one of the best tisanes or herbal teas I've ever had in my life. And but in the next month or two, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do internet searches and hopefully find some somewhere on the island, because I'll pay any price to get my hands on that stuff, because it's so amazing. But unfortunately, no. They're chirping throughout the live cast. That's why I asked. Okay, there we go. Okay, yes, that makes more sense. But yes, they're just around. And I'm thinking I want to get, like, I was thinking about it today, right? Because, if I had a box of bees right here, and the bees, you could hear the bees during the live stream as I drank tea, I think that would be a lot of fun as well. But I don't know. Sometimes bees get angry, and my clothes are here. So if we're out, if we're out hanging up the clothes and the bees are having a bad day, that might not be the best thing. But I'd love to have bee boxes up here on this back porch. I could do them on my roof, but it's just too hot. It's just too hot in Taiwan in the summertime. Let's see if I missed any questions. Yes. Yep. Cornell has a great ornithological app for bird ID. I think maybe I've told this story. Camphor tree, Taiwan's old famous export. Love the smell of crumpled up leaves. And when I go and do so there's camphor trees in most places of this area of Taiwan, anyways. So when I do the bees, what I always do is I go underneath one of these trees and you crumple up the leaves, and I use it for my smoker. So the wetter, the better. So I light the fire, and then I use the camphor leaves, put it in the smoker, and then the smoke that comes out of that, it's just it's so beautiful, just incense. So with the birds, you know how much I think I've told this story, but you can make so much money from birds, right? So much money, because birders, who are generally speaking very nice people, they pay a lot of money if you know your birds and you can take them to a bird place and they can see their favorite birds. So much money. And I used to run an adventure company, so I was like, oh, I'll do birds, but I just couldn't do it. I'm sure there's a wonderful app for learning about all the birds, but it just didn't, like, I know myself quite well, and it didn't go into me and be like, that's it, I want birds, everything about birds, I want to learn about birds. It didn't catch fire. What's the tea we're talking about today? Oh, these two teas, these are the Old Master Baozhong and the green. But I have nothing against birds. I just figured out a long time ago that my brain works best if you can eat it. So wildcraft foods, animals that you can eat. Like if you get me started on talking about bees, for example, I could talk for 48 hours without stopping, because I love bees so much, because they give us so many things, everything from, the honey to the pollen to the royal jelly, to the propolis, to the poison, to the, to the wax, everything about them. You just, Old Master Baozhong. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you probably haven't had it yet. It gets released on Sunday at the usual time, and I only have 1,800 grams of it. That's it. 1,800 grams of it. And this is the Old Master Green. And the Old Master Green, I only have 550 grams of it. And that's it. And I know there's a lot of people that wait all year just for this tea. Just for this tea. Or these teas, I should say. And they're just so good. They're just so good. I would not say this is the best year ever, but I've been drinking this for about 7 or 8 years now. And I would say the best year ever was about maybe 5 years ago. But this is up there. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Certainly not bad. But with me being who I am and what I do, it's like there's a tea that I love, right? And I love the tea. But the tea from like 5 years ago was the best tea ever, the best. And so I'm always, and I remember these things, right? I remember what it was like however many years ago. And so, but 5 years ago was better than this year. 3 years ago was not as good as this year. Last year was pretty similar, maybe slightly better. The weather was maybe slightly better up there. But it'd be a upper middle rank out of all the years of this tea. So certainly not bad. Certainly not bad. Oh, Old Master Dongding. That is another tea that is going to be released on Sunday. So the Old Master Dongding. So on Sunday, Organic Alishan, Jade Mountain Spring, Jade Mountain Gaba, High Mountain Four Seasons. The Magnolia will be back in stock. There's the Old Master Baozhong, the Old Master Green, the 2024 Old Master Dongding, and but not the Gardenia Oolong. That'll be another time. So the Gardenia Oolong, no, that's not, because I don't have that in yet. So, and this year the Old Master Dongding is the best it has been ever. I would say the Old Master Dongding this year is like right at the top for basically forever. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't know. I don't know whether I should start. I haven't done anything with this beard at all. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I should just put oil in it and start wearing silk underwear or something. But I'll keep it for a while. But it's weird. It's weird. The bees get in there. I feel bad for them because they can't sting me, and they just But anyways, trim the beard knee. Yes, I should do that. I'm scared though. Once I get started, it'll I don't know, it might do something. There's one guy. So a beard like this, you can imagine, right? You can imagine a beard like this in a small town in Asia is not that common. You can imagine, right? A beard like this in a small town in Asia is not that common. And there's one barber in Hualien, like I think he's French, and he married a Taiwanese woman, so he's got like a man's like barber shop. And I obviously have not a lot of reason to go there, right? It's not like it's not like I have any reason to go to a barber shop, but I might go there for some advice. I might go there for some advice. Be like, bonjour. And then what do I do with this thing? And then I get beard oils and stuff. Small clippers, little snips, do the strumming to a point. we could both grow nice beards. Yes, well, it's like I said, it's not that normal around here to have such a full beard. Not too many of these in this part of the world. And but yeah, I should go and talk to an expert. You make it sound so easy, Mr. Phoenix. You make it sound so it's so easy. I just get, I'm worried that I get started and then like I don't know if you ever seen that YouTube video where there's there's some poor woman who is trying to fix an ancient statue of in Egypt, and they're filming her, and she does something and then she breaks it. She just keeps going and keeps breaking it. That's what I feel like I would do to my beard. Anyways. So yeah, oceanic, oceanic, beautiful green tea. If you've ever had it before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I think I wrote down my BS from before. Yes, I did. It was it's a green tea. It's wearing a kimono, but with a Taiwanese soul. And so the sort of the aftertaste and the further steeps are more Taiwanese, but the upfront is like a really high quality sencha, and it's really unique. It's a really unique for Taiwan. I'm sure, again, in Japan, I'm sure that's a flavor profile that you get all the time, right? I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination it's unique, but it's unique to Taiwan. And I don't think I've ever had another tea that's so Japanese in the upfront, sort of the mouthfeel, and then in the back end going to sort of that Taiwanese Baozhong oolongy type of flavor. But yeah, that's about it. Any other questions about anything that I've covered or anything going in the future? I'm hoping I can convince my wife to maybe on Sunday, the two of us, drive up to Pingling, go up into the mountains and buy some Baozhong. I'm hoping that I can do that. And then maybe we could, yeah, anyways, we'll see how it goes. The coastal deep is definitely that mineral deep flavor. Is Old Master Green in the same comparison? That's an awesome question. And I would say yes, but the deep water is much more sort of Taiwanese, like it's Taiwanese. And so that minerality is in the upfront, and it's just really, really strong, and that's all you've got, right? So the deep water, if you guys don't know, the deep water, what is it? The deep water oolong, milk oolong. I can't remember the whole name. Anyways, the deep water oolong. When you first have it, it's like a blast of minerality and not much else. It's like drinking seawater, like literally drinking seawater. A little bit of vegetal, but it's seawater. And then it drifts off. The coastal mountain deep water. There we go. And then it drifts off into gorgeous red oolong fruitiness sort of in the background, and that's how it goes. It was actually an accidental make, right? There was just they oxidized it too long, and so created this, and so that's like this beautiful tea. This has the same minerality. There's the same minerality in it, the same oceanography in the flavor profile, but it's mixed up and melded in with that sencha flavor, with that sencha green tea. So you get green tea, minerality, and then in the background you're getting more like just a touch of the florals and sort of the background information that you would get from the same like a baozhong type of thing. But this one is not creamy. This one's creamy, right? So there's no cream in this. It's like sencha green tea, vegetal, deep greens. More of like a kale than a pea or a bean or anything like that. Like really deep greens, and then sort of the aftertaste. Deep in the aftertaste is that Taiwanese soul coming through, that baozhonginess. The number 22 strain between Jinshen and Qinshin seems to be gaining a bit of traction, made as Baozhong and some high mountain tea. Wondering if you've had any impressions about it. So number 22 is still not that popular. It's still not that popular. Now, number 20 was tried a lot, and I like number 20, right? I like it a lot. It's one of my favorite cultivars, but it doesn't handle wet weather. So they tried to do it in Pingling. Number 22, I don't know how much steam it's gathered, but because I haven't been to Pingling because my family won't let me leave the house and drive on that highway right now. But there's a beautiful butterfly flying around. I don't know too much. As you can tell, I'm stalling. I don't know too much about what is going on with that particular cultivar, how it's going. I haven't heard of it being too widely planted, but I haven't really found a lot of new. I haven't found a lot of new producers because I haven't really been looking. But absolutely, that's something that I should look into because I've had it a couple times and it's okay. It's okay, but I didn't notice it as being really dramatically better. But a lot of those trees were young, and I don't think people have really figured out how to use that cultivar yet. So if they're figuring out how to use that cultivar and how to make, I bet you'd do a pretty good Baozhong. I bet you it would do a pretty good Baozhong. But the problem is, how does it grow? Like I said, the number 20 cultivar made an amazing Baozhong, creamy like you wouldn't believe. But if it rains too much, it dies. It's not a very strong plant. But yes, great question, and I'll keep an eye out for it for sure. For sure. I like that more robust. Yes, so that one definitely is quite strong. Is there a good source website you'd recommend for Japanese green teas? How about I throw that into the chat because I don't have one. I don't have a really good one. I don't know. And so I would definitely suggest, I don't know, somebody know a good, there's the, I mean, I only know a couple on Instagram. There's You Know Me Tea, and the guy who runs that is a really nice guy, but he's very, very business oriented. So he's like a business guy. So I don't know whether his teas are really, really good, although I would suggest you look up that site because he's probably got every single tea, right? He does a really, really good job with sort of the marketing, things like that, but I couldn't recommend a tea there. I think he's had a lot. There's the European guy, the Crane. I can't remember the name, something Crane. And people seem to be pretty happy with that, I think. Anyways, I'm going to stop. I don't know. So sorry, Stacy, I can't help out with that. Maybe people in the chat, if you know, or in the comments afterwards, if you know, recommend a good Japanese green tea spot, that would be great. Because like I've had some really good Japanese tea. I've had some people send me some really good Japanese tea, but it's just not my thing. It's not my. I remember the You Know Me guy. He had this thing. He had a thing where he's like, "I'll give anybody green tea, whoever can ask me a question I don't know the answer to." And I was like, okay, well, that's my thing, right? So I'm like, okay, why did Japan go for seaweed as their dominant sort of flavor characteristic? Again, that's me. I'm not saying it's all seaweed. Whereas like places like Taiwan went for the florals and the fruit flavors that I like better. And he's like, I don't know, so it's not really my thing. But by no means is there a value judgment in there. By no means, like I can absolutely. Those are loud and beautiful birds, aren't they? Japanese tea is amazing. It's amazing, amazing stuff. It's just never really been my thing. Never jumped too deep into it. I've just seen it show up here and there. Not sure if it's prevalent. Jinshrin Golden Muta Tieguanin is tops, but I tend to drink the competition Tieguanin much more. Well, they're both Jinshrin, and one of them, I mean, arguably the competition one is better. It may take some time to perfect the processing. Yes, absolutely. No problem. Sometimes my local tea places have some here and there. And yeah, so again, sorry I can't help out too much. Thé du Japon has been recommended by Japanese tea enthusiasts quite a bit. Awesome. There you go. There's a good one. Most Japanese supermarkets are okay. And then Hibiki An. Hibiki An. I'm never heard of that before. I've never heard of both of those ones. Never heard of both of them. Anyways, I think what I need to do is go to Japan. I need to go to Japan. Number 12 feels much more milky in the first steep. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said before, these two teas, they're a mix between the number 12, right? The Jinchuan, the milk oolong cultivar, and the Qinshin oolong. And the tea plants are all different ages, right? Some of them are 30, 40 years. Some of them are 3 or 4 years. And, like I said before, this tea doesn't fit any of the categories for what would be a good tea or a bad tea. In fact, it's all of the one, like it's a mix between different days. It's a mix between different cultivars. Some are hand-picked, some are machine-picked. Like it's just this vast difference between the teas, and then they batch it all together, and it shouldn't taste as good as it does, but you have this amazing tea master, Wang Yoli, who does this. And anyways, it's the pinnacle of Baozhong tea making. And it's funny, I'll tell this one story, but I was, last year, I think it was, there's a Baozhong festival. And I went to the Baozhong festival. And they're like, oh, hello. And I started talking Chinese. And I'm like, and they're like, oh, you know your stuff. I'm like, yeah, of course I do. Like Wang Yoli is Wang Yoli is my buddy. And they're like, you might not like my tea. Like basically that was their attitude, right? Because this guy is so famous. He's so good. But they always say, but he only makes a little bit of tea. And I'm like, yeah, I know he only makes a little bit of tea, but that's the tea that I drink. And so the people there, as soon as they heard that Wang Yoli was my buddy and that's the tea that I get the most of, they just sort of back up and they're just sort of like, wow, none of my stuff is that good. They don't say that, but the attitude is, well, this is not going to be as good as his tea. And so it's quite funny in that sense, because he's just so famous. Love this, dollars. Thank you. I'll make my order on Sunday. Okay. And once again, I'll say it again. Organic Alishan, Jade Mountain Spring, Jade Mountain Gaba, the Magnolia, the Old Master Baozhong, the Old Master Dongding, High Mountain Four Seasons. Those are all going to be released, and they will go for sale at 10 p.m. Taiwanese time, which is 7 a.m. on the West Coast, 10 a.m. on the East Coast of North America, and then in Europe, sort of morning, afternoon, depending on where in Europe you are. And usually what I had done in the past was I'd send out the email. All the emails would go out at the exact same time. But it's just, I don't know, maybe they're cracking down on the sort of the email stuff. But it's been getting harder and harder to send out an email all at the same time. So that's what I used to do, and everybody would have a fair chance. But this time, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to send out the email like 3 hours or 4 hours beforehand, so everybody can get the email and know when the time is. And then the tea will be launched for then. Anyways. Teaware, Heme, Clay, Cup Guy, how is he? Anything from his land? I gotta go see him, and maybe I'll see him on Saturday. I don't know. The kids are gone this weekend, so I don't know how much time. I tried to get in touch with him last week, and I just couldn't get in touch with him. And anyways, I probably not this weekend, but the weekend after. Because I ordered a bunch of stuff from him, and I know it's just sitting there, and I got to go and get it. But I just haven't been able to get there because he's only there a couple days a week. And if I drive all the way out there and he's not there, then I just wasted a trip. Anyways, that's it for now. But yes, thank you for reminding me. And if there's teas out there, things that you want, that you guys want, just remind me. I'm sure you guys sort of see it and understand it. This spring has been a rough spring, planning wise and all that type of stuff, just because of the earthquake. It's certainly not been a rough spring for everything. Thank you everybody who has ordered tea. Everybody's ordered tea. It's packed and ready to go. It'll be sent out today at the very, 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 very latest, if it hasn't been sent out already. And it's just amazing. It's amazing. Thank you for the support, always. Okay, well, thank you for watching. So last call for questions or anything. Again, we got the Old Master Green. There's only 550 grams of it that are available to be bought. There is the Old Master Baozhong, and there's only 1,700 grams of it available to be bought. And both of these will be released on Sunday, along with Organic Alishan, Jade Mountain Spring, Jade Mountain GABA. The Magnolia will be back in stock with a fresh batch. These two, the High Mountain Four Seasons, and then the 2024 Old Master Dongding, and they'll all be 10% off. Nice drop you got coming out. Yes. Well, it's that time of year. It's that time of year. All right. So thank you everybody for watching. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, let me know. Wherever you are in the world, I certainly hope you have an amazing morning, evening, night, afternoon, all that type of stuff. I'm going to go cook me some lunch. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next live stream.